What's up, guys? I'm going to be doing the 2014 draft now. And for those of you that don't know, our 2013-2014 season did not go as planned. We went 8-8 like we always do. And we were 8-6 at one point after we had beaten the Patriots. That was a huge deal because it was Michael Thomas's that it was that one Michael Thomas year where he had that big interception where he jumped in front of Julian Edelman. I'm telling you, I don't get really like hype over pro football games, but I was hype. I was excited. Like that was like the first game that like me and my dad watched it. Like it wasn't supposed to be on national television because we were here in Arlington, and like it was on national. Wait, it was our last year in Miami actually, and we were watching this game, and like we were excited because like we wanted it to mean something because it was our last year, and like we genuinely really wanted something out of the Dolphin season that year because like it was our last season. We wanted to like we wanted to go out with a bang, have a playoff opportunity. We were 8-6 after we beat the Patriots, lost the next two games to the Bills, where we got blown out 19-0 into the Jets, who were terrible that year. And just more of the crap that we had to deal with that year. And this year was that year that Charles Clay was a fullback before he transferred positions. Again, we had Mike Wallace. It's before Jarvis Landry. Brandon Gibson, who we got from the Patriots, who was a great addition. Marlon Moore was someone that I really liked. Marcus Thigpen, good grief. I was really excited because we had Tyler Thigpen, I think, in 2011. He was a third string quarterback. He started against the Tennessee Titans, which I mentioned in an earlier video when we met Don Shula. And we're like, it's another Thigpen. This Thigpen's going to do something. Was there for a year and left. And then, again, we had Lamar Miller, who had a big year. Daniel Thomas was a huge part of our offense that year. I can't remember how many touchdowns he had, but like it was a train. He had 4 rushing touchdowns. What the heck? But yeah, it's just the curse of what's it called? Like running backs, they just don't last long in this league. And for defense, we had Philip Wheeler, Donnell Erlenby. Those are the 2 Dreadlock brothers that we had. And Erlenby was the middle linebacker, and Philip Wheeler was the left outside linebacker. So they would stand next to each other every game, and it was the scariest looking thing for like a how old was I then? Like a 12-year-old sitting there watching football. Like, yeah, I don't think I want to play pro anymore. If those are the guys that are playing defense on an 8-8 team, that's definitely not something I want to look into. Chris Clemens, man, I mean, like, honestly, I think he was the most underrated safety in the league. He was a strong safety. So, Rashard Jones, this is the year that Julian Edelman said that they would, like, pick on him and stuff like that. Like, he had 84 solo tackles. And he had a huge game against the Patriots that year. I remember that he had I think he had a pick in that game. The one pick that he had. Brett Grimes, again, Pro Bowler that year. Cameron Wake was a Pro Bowler this year. Only had 8.5 sacks, but like he was really admired upon against his peers. Like whenever he would come out, like they would know who's out. Jimmy Wilson, man, I feel old. I'm only 18, so don't call me old. Jonathan Freedy, bruh. This was a fun team to go and watch. I think at this point my dad had kind of given up on the Dolphins, so we didn't really watch many games at Dolphin Stadium, which was called the Sun Life Stadium, and it was cool because they had the shark, because they used to call it the shark fin. But the first pick that we had in this draft, after going 8-8, we fell all the way to the 19th pick. So really, there was no one else on the board. Up until that point, C.J. Mosley was the guy that I wanted out of Alabama. My dad watched a lot of Alabama games, and then we got Juwan James, and I was like, I don't know why we got Juwan James. This might have been the year that Ryan Tannehill was getting demolished in the backfield. Might not have been either. But Kelvin Benjamin should have been in consideration for the pick. How Clinton Dix should have been in consideration for the pick. Again, we're looking for like culture good guys. Definitely should have been up there on the board. Teddy Bridgewater was definitely the guy that I wanted. Can't remember, but there was a Photoshop picture of Teddy Bridgewater in a Dolphins jersey, and that was my wallpaper for weeks, and then we drafted Juwan James, and it was kind of a disappointing day for us. Teddy Bridgewater just did sign a huge contract to Carolina. Definitely deserved it. After all he's been through, definitely deserves it. This is the year that we drafted Jarvis Landry. I swear, I thought Jarvis Landry was better than Odell Beckham Jr. I told everyone that. He was picked like 12th and then won Rookie of the Year. It's like, Jarvis Landry's better. And to this point, to this day, I still believe that Dolphins' Jarvis Landry is better than Odell Beckham Jr. Like, I guess like the hands thing is why people like argue a lot. Like, bro, it's not that big of a deal. Like, he can catch with two hands just as well as Odell can catch with one hand, and he can catch with one hand just as good as Odell can catch with one hand. So it's really not that big of a deal. Who has more receptions every year? Who has more yards every year? Just because he gets like the long touchdown passes really means nothing. Jarvis Landry would get us into the red zone, we'll punch it into the running backs, and I was okay with that every single time. Like, he could have 0 touchdowns, and I still think Jarvis Landry's better. But definitely, we traded him for, I think, a refrigerator. Next pick was Billy Turner. Didn't again know who that was. I guess this probably was the year that we needed help. Walt Atkins out of Liberty. I go to Liberty, so I was super psyched about my mom and dad went to Liberty too, and then I saw like there was a Liberty guy coming to Miami, and I was like, dude, that's awesome. Probably shouldn't be letting all my parents' information out there like that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I didn't know who James White was, but I thought that would have been a cool pick. We did get him. Probably would have used him wrong and traded him after like 3 weeks, like we do all the other great Dolphins players. Arthur Lynch, I don't think he played a single game. We picked him with the 5th round pick. Then Jordan Tripp, I don't think he was ever on the roster. Matt Hazel, oh, dude, Liberty's rivals. Matt Hazel thought he was gonna have a year where he broke out, never did anything. I was super psyched about, what he could have done. Terrence Fetty, he played number 70. I'm gonna look it up right now. Terrence Fetty, I guarantee you he was number 70. He was number 70. 78. I was close. But he left after a while. I think he's in the Canadian Football League now. Decent player. He never really did a bad job. You know what I mean? But, yeah. Other than that, I'm going to rate this draft. I'll be nice. I'm going to give him... I'm going to give him a B-. I think they could have, again, there's a few decisions that were I throughout this whole entire period, it's kind of giving me perspective to think we're the most mediocre team ever, and for me, it's okay for maybe a year or two for you to be the worst team in the league, as long as it's worth it, along the line. As long as you're building towards something, I'm okay with that. If you're just stuck in mediocrity for years and years and years and years and years and years and years, like the Dolphins have been, that's when there becomes a problem, and that's why I made this, and just to kind of call out the mediocrity, and it's the same kind of things that I'm seeing now. Literally, it all depends on Tua, and the fact is, I don't want to bet my odds on a player that blew out his hip, and again, Tua could be the greatest player of all time. I'm not saying that he's not going to be a good player, but still, I think that definitely there's some things that we can be doing better to appropriate what we've been doing wrong all these years. But yeah, other than that, it's definitely been fun to look back. I've got 2 more videos, so I'm gonna give you guys a spiel after that. But yeah, it's definitely fun to see the names of the old players and stuff like that. But it's gonna be it for this video. I've got 2 more. I got 2 more left. I got 3 more left actually. So just bear with me, guys. And it's gonna be it for me.